That is not, however, without danger, because, through the release of tension, tectonic movements likewise occur, whereby earthquakes of all magnitudes are increasingly triggered. As a result of the meltwater, the sea level rises elsewhere, whereby, in turn, the coastal regions are plagued by new pressures of water. Thereby, in turn, the lower stratum changes, however at great depths, where great masses of magma move and become driven into volcanoes, which leads to new and increased volcanic eruptions. The entirety of the enormous increase of the masses of water in the seas still leads, however, to a further evil effect, because they influence the Earth's rotation, and indeed such that the planet begins to turn faster and an alteration of the length of the days is evoked. All that is, however, not the only result of climatic warming, because, truthfully, through this the human is also negatively influenced in physical, psychic and mental ways. So depression occurs, which takes hold more and more with many humans on the earth and becomes a chronic state. Also disturbances of consciousness emerge more and more often and, so, states of angst, and states comprising thoughts and feelings of loss, take hold more and more, as does the cooling of thoughts and the numbness which results from it. Brutality, violence and absence of conscience become more and more stark and lead to the murder of one's fellow humans. All evils get more and more out of hand, as does greed for pleasures and addiction to alcohol, medications, drugs and adrenaline kicks. That therefore happens because, as a result of climate change, the human's mental health is damaged and the anatomy of the brain is altered, even if that initially only happens unnoticeably and has not yet been recognized by scientists, and is also now indeed disputed, as I openly name the facts and the truth. That is essentially what I still wanted to say in accordance with that which you explained to me privately, among other things, about 2 years ago. Ptaah says, that which you have just said actually lies on the boundary of that which you are permitted to say openly. You should not betray anything further by way of expositions and explanations. Billy says, understood. However, something should indeed also just be said about the fact that the humans of Earth themselves bring about many evils and catastrophes, not only in regard to the warming of the climate, rather also in that they collectively direct the powers of their thoughts and powers of their subconscious so strongly towards evils and catastrophes, and so forth. Included in that are also false assertions and lies from peddlers of angst and panic, as well as from end-of-the-world prophets, religions and their sects, and so forth, assertions and lies upon which a susceptible humans focus, whereby the evil and catastrophes, and so forth, then actually come true. Nowadays, because of the Internet, it is even worse than before when bad news, anxieties and myths about the end of the world, as well as other absurdities were only spread by religions, sects, end-of-the-world prophets, newspapers, journals, and over the radio. A large part of humanity constantly occupies itself with terrible things which panic-mongers and conspiracy theorists prophesy, and through which the panic-mongers and conspiracy theorists drive those susceptible humans into angst and terror. And the more humans who believe the nonsense, and build it up in themselves and the environment to the point of delusion, the more powerful becomes the strength of the collective thoughts which relate to this, and indeed, until it becomes a determining power and triggers, and brings about the imagined catastrophe or evil. The power of thoughts brings, so to speak, everything about and, indeed, all the more surely the more powers of thought many humans unify in the same matter. That means that all that the human fosters and preserves in his thoughts is inevitably actualized. And the more humans who direct the power of their thoughts at something definite, which could or is supposed to occur, the more certain is its actual occurrence. That correlates to everything and anything, respectively, to everything imaginable, therefore also to factors of nature, which, influenced by the enormous powers of human thought, can trigger monstrous catastrophes. Ptaah says, an indisputable fact. I would like to advise you once more that you should offer no further details in regard to the year 2012. I will explain to you in good time that which will be necessary in order to openly name it. Reader's questions. Swine flu. Reader's question. What is it with swine flu? Is it spreading out further? Hugentobuller, Switzerland. Answer. A short excerpt about that from the 478th official contact conversation. Billy says, and what is with swine flu? Does it proceed further? Ptaah says, there is this to say in response to your question regarding swine flu. Yes, this quickly takes greater hold because now the epidemic is being passed from human to human in many countries, and indeed millionfold. On my last visit I already said that the danger of a pandemic exists and that every human who played everything down is to blame for the fact that this state could come about. The true blame for that goes to the irresponsible carelessness of the governments and the health officials who did not stop world tourism at the outbreak of the epidemic, but instead even declared it to be harmless. Naturally, they reject the assertion that they are to blame. FIGU Special Bulletin NR 49, August 2009, Addendum. Swine flu inquiry after editorial closing time. Question. Belatedly, still one further question has occurred to me. What is your opinion about swine flu? Because I have a problem with conspiracy theorists as well as with profit-greedy pharmaceutical companies, I am not sure what I should make of these mass inoculations. Is there information about this from your side? July 29, 2009, Bernd Johann, Germany. Answer. Billy says, an excerpt from the 478th contact conversation of June 14, 2009, can answer this question for you. But once more to swine flu. There already exists conspiracy theories again, and they claim that this can degenerate in a similar manner to the Spanish flu in 1918. Can you just say something about this? Ptaah says,